Hello everyone, welcome to another video, and today we are going to talk about a very interesting and one of the most important topic, that is the cost of studying in United States. In this video, I will tell you about the estimated cost of study in US, how you can eliminate some of the expenses, how you can minimize some of the expenses, and lastly, how you can afford all of these expenses. For simplicity purpose, let's take 1 USD equal to 75 INR. So without wasting any time, let's get straight into the video. Let's divide the whole cost factor into two parts. The first part will be the expenses during the application process, and the second part will be the expenses when you will be in US. In my earlier videos, I have mentioned that a lot of universities have waived off GRE till fall 2022 intake. But it is not yet clear that it will be continued for 23 intakes. So we are counting GRE in this list. Now, as you have already decided that you want to pursue your masters in America, let's see what all the process includes and how much it costs. Before anything else, you have to give GRE and either of Toefl or IELTS. GRE is Graduate Record Examination used for the purpose of admissions, and Toefl or IELTS is used as language proficiency tests. But before giving these tests, you have to prepare for them. There are a lot of institutions out there who are preparing students for the same, and they are charging around 30,000 Indian rupees. The next expense will be the actual test booking fee. GRE and Toefl are conducted by ETS and IELTS is conducted by IDP. Now ETS charges $213 for GRE, that is around 16,000 Indian rupees, and for Toefl it is $190, that is around 15,000 Indian rupees. The test fee for IELTS is around 14,700 rupees. After giving these tests, your actual application process starts. Now, a lot of people prefers consultancies for their application process, and an average consultancy may charge up to 30,000 Indian rupees. Apart from that, you also have to pay an application fee to apply to a university. Now, an average university may charge up to $90 as an application fee for international students. And let's say if you are applying to 6 universities, then it would be $540, that is around 40,000 Indian rupees. One more point to be noted. You have to send your GRE, Toefl and IELTS score to the universities for review process. And ETS gives 4 free score reports. That means you can send your GRE and Toefl scores for free to 4 universities. But if you want to send an additional score to any university, then ETS is charging around $27 for GRE scores and $20 for Toefl scores. Now suppose your whole application process is finished and you got an admit from your desired university. That's great, right? Now, to book your seat in that particular university, you have to pay an enrollment deposit. That could range from $200 to $500 depending on the university. This deposit will be counted in your first fee installment. You will also have to get an I-20 document from the university for your further visa processes. That may charge up to $60. Moving forward to the visa process. An F1 visa costs around $160. Along with it, also you have to pay a service fee of $350, making a total of $510, that is around 38,000 Indian rupees. The other expense will be the flight ticket, that could be between 40,000 to 80,000 rupees depending on the airlines, the place you are flying to and the time you have booked the ticket. You will have to buy a health insurance and a travel insurance, and you will also have some miscellaneous expenses for shopping for US. Now these all totals up to around 2.7 lakh rupees. That's too much, right? Don't worry, now I will be telling you how you can eliminate some of the expenses. For that, let us revise the whole list once again. The first thing was the preparation for GRE, Toefl or IELTS. Now to be frank, you don't need classes to prepare for these tests. There are a lot of free resources available on the internet, and YouTube is one of them. Along with it, I will also be sharing links to the material that I have used personally in the description below. Moving forward to the actual test booking fees. Now these are the mandatory fees and we have to pay them. So talking about the consultancy part, one thing I would like to make clear is no consultancy can guarantee you admission in your desired university. That totally depends on your profile. So please don't fall for the trap. You can do your all applications by your own. It's not rocket science. I did all of my applications by my own. I applied to 8 universities, already got admitted into 2 universities and waiting for the decisions of the rest of the universities. It's pretty simple. I will also be making a dedicated video on the application process of a university. Moving ahead to the college application fee part. Now there is a bunch of universities which provide an application fee waiver to students. For example, I got my application fee waived for Purdue University, Stevens Institute, Northeastern University, and Arizona State University. I had attended an online event by Purdue University and they granted me an application fee waiver on my account. In the other cases, you will get an application fee waiver code which you have to apply in your application and your application fee will be waived off. So please search for these kind of opportunities. Next was the additional score report of GRE and Toefl. Now, there are a lot of universities which allow students to upload their unofficial score reports for review process. And if they are admitted in the university and they want to attend it, then and only then they have to send an official score report. The other three expenses were the deposit fees, the visa fees and the service fees. Now these all are the mandatory fees we have to pay, so we cannot eliminate them. But there is an exception for the flight tickets. We will be discussing that in the later part of the video. Remember in the starting of the video we had divided the whole cost factor into two parts. The other part was the actual expenses that you will have in US. Now the major expense you will have in US will be the tuition fees. Your tuition fees varies from university to university. For example, universities like Purdue University, Georgia Tech and Arizona State University have tuition fees of around 15,000 USD per sem. That is 60,000 USD for 2 years, and that will be around 45 lakh Indian rupees. There are colleges like Stevens Institute who charge up to around 19,000 USD per sem. That would be around 60 lakh Indian rupees for 2 years. These are just the tuition fees and some other mandatory costs you have to pay to the university. The other part will be your living expense. Now your living expense depends on the place you are staying. For example, you will pay a lot more if you are staying at places like Boston or New Jersey than if you are staying in towns like West Lafayette or Urbana-Champaign in Illinois. Living expense can also be further bifurcated. The major chunk of living expense will be the rent you will be paying for the place of your stay. The other expenses will be your groceries, your phone bill, your internet bill, etc. Now let us talk about how we can minimize some of the expenses. As an international student, we are allowed to work 20 hours per week on an on-campus job. And the minimum wage for almost every US state is around $10 per hour. So, if you get an on-campus job, you could earn around a minimum of $800 to $1,000 per month, and you can somehow manage your living expense from that. There are also three other opportunities. Those are a teaching assistantship, research assistantship, and a graduate assistantship. A teaching assistant is a person who helps a professor in teaching related tasks. For example, grading the assignments of undergrad students, proctoring them during their test, etc. A research assistant is a person who helps the professor in research related work going on in university. And a graduate assistant is a person who works part-time at administration office. We will focus more on first two categories because of the perks they are giving. Because if you are a TA or RA at a university, there could be two possible cases. The first case could be your whole tuition fee will be waived off. Or the other case could be your outstate tuition fee will be converted into in-state tuition fee and you have to pay a lot less. Along with it, you will also be paid a monthly stipend and your health insurance will be paid by university itself. But because of these perks, these are the most competitive positions at a university. If you are having a 2-year course, there is also one more opportunity for you. You can work in an internship after the first year of your studies. Now these are the paid internships and you can earn a significant stipend from them. So all of these opportunities combined can help you manage your expenses in US. Now moving ahead, let's talk about a very serious point. If you are an international student planning your further studies in US, and if you are thinking that apart from 20 hours per week official work, you will also do a part-time job outside the campus for cash, then please drop that idea right now. Because if anyhow USCIS get to know about that, then you will not get any notice. You will be straight away deported back to India. All the hard work you and your parents put in to get you to US will be in vain. The amount of time and money invested till now will be wasted while earning a few more bucks. It can destroy your career, so please stay away from these kind of ideas. Now moving towards the last part of the video, how you can afford all of these expenses. Obviously, not every student who is going for further studies abroad have a cash flow of 50 to 60 lakh rupees. So one of the best way to afford these expenses is an education loan. Your education loan covers your tuition fees, your living expense, your flight tickets that we have talked about earlier, and the cost of your laptop if you want one. There are also few more advantages of an education loan. I will be making a dedicated video on the types of education loans and how they works. But for now, that's all for this video. I will be providing more information in the upcoming videos. So stay tuned. Please like, share and subscribe the channel and press that bell icon. Please comment on the videos because your comments keep me motivated. Till then, be safe, be healthy. See you soon.